the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot. We can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, but buddy, they forgot.
Remember, kids, they call it unidentified. That just means it identified you first.
Step right up
To the drive-in of doom, where the truth goes vroom and the saucers go zoom.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny. But buddy, they forgot.
They said swamp gas, Venus, kites aflare, while something did a figure eight above the county fair. First nope, then you're nuts, then move along my guy. Now it's here's the footage and it's flying by.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny. But buddy, they forgot.
Eisenhower met him. That's the story we've been fed. JFK asked questions, then the file drawer ate it dead. Nixon wait for it looked, Carter saw glow. Reagan said Star Wars, and the rumors started to grow.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got alien, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole bond clock.
You get the jolt only one. And my buddy, they forgot.
Bush 1 knew a friend. Clinton played the sax. Bush 2 dodged so hard he pulled a hamstring in the facts. Obama laughed, then half said, yeah, it's kinda weird. Trump said, tremendous saucers, believe me, very feared.
Direct the time in war.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got aliens, while aliens go young.
Soldier at the time in war.
That's the whole but time. Be taken fair among and died on the product case of night.
Raised tall gray, Nordics tall whites, reptilians, mantis, men in black at night, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians too, Anunnaki, Dracos, how do you do? Orb shadow people, glow and slide. If it floats and blinks, it's disclosure night.
Pentagon's polite like a diner after 2. Yeah, anomalous objects, but we don't know who. They stamp it unknown with an official sign, while a saucer does donuts in the open sky.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot. We can't confirm or deny.
But buddy, they forgot.
Remember, kids, they call it unidentified. That just means it identified you first.
Step right up
To the drive-in of doom, where the truth goes vroom and the saucers go zoom.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny. But buddy, they forgot.
They said swamp gas, Venus, kites aflare, while something did a figure eight above the county fair. First nope, then you're nuts, then move along my guy. Now it's here's the footage and it's flying by.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in war.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny. But buddy, they forgot.
Eisenhower met him. That's the story we've been fed. JFK asked questions, then the file drawer ate it dead. Nixon wait for it looked, Carter saw glow. Reagan said Star Wars, and the rumors started to grow.
Soldier at the time in war.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got alien, while aliens go young.
Soldier at the time in war.
That's the whole bond clock.
You get the jolt only one.
Wow, that's dark. Let me get some light on this joint. There we go. That's better. Hey, how are you guys? Good morning and all that. Oh, monitor down, Jim. Yeah, the Keurig, or it's actually not the Keurig. Excuse me. It's the Ninja. Was moving slow so I could get my cup of wonderful refreshments of the morning. Pardon the buzz in the background. Been working on some stuff that kind of a surprise for this evening for a particular festivity. I don't want to give away just in case he watches, or if he's watching, which probably not, honestly. But anyway, so I opened up the show with the pre-show song being about the alien disclosure stuffs. Why? Because apparently it's circulating around again that, oh yeah, the aliens. Hey, I just thought about something. Let me see if I can do it like this. I bet I can. Yes, I can. So I will. So now over here where the camera is, I'm moving the little chat window so I can see what all is being said without having to look away unnecessarily. Look at that. Pivot and adjust, Jim. Pivot and adjust. Yeah. So, anywho, yeah, that's fair, Damien. That is fair. So, again, another great day. And yesterday's morning is the super secret thing. It wasn't that it was super secret per se, like, oh my God, I can't let it. No, it was just I went on around the table, well, locally, around the table with Dan and Ann on 94.9, the original KHOZ, kind of as a surprise backup guest with Michael with the Hotel Seville, and just didn't want to say anything about it until we actually got there and did it. Not that it was that big a deal, but at the same time, it was kind of a last minute thing that Michael wanted me to come in. Since I'm the marketing and promotions guy, it's like, well, yeah, I probably should go. But it was great. The interview went very well. Ann Lemley behind the board was very fresh. It's the first time I'd been on the show with Ann behind the board and Dan sitting over in the wing. So that was kind of fun to see. She has definitely found a great wheel well for herself. So that's I really liked it. It was very fun. And then, of course, in the green room before we went on, some of the folks from the city were there with Donna, who is now, she was with the Harrison Daily Times forever, but now she works in the mayor's office, pretty much handling, I guess, the PR stuff. I guess that would be her role, I guess. Donna's great, though. And then, of course, Councilman Mitch Magnus, who's going to be running for mayor this time around, and Police Chief Chris Grady. I hadn't had a chance to catch up with him in quite a long time, so it was good seeing Chris, and good seeing Mitch and everybody and all that fun stuff. And of course, Beamer, the morning man, that is the morning man, there at 94.9, the original KHOZ. Good catching up with him too. But so, I think if there are any alien hybrids in the area, I do believe that Beamer might be one. Not saying, not throwing shade. It's just a possibility. I think it's plausible. Let me put my phone over this away on silent. I need to let it charge up. Got a lot to do today because, again, we got festivities tonight of the birthday variety. That's fun. We really do our best to make sure that we celebrate the birthdays with everyone with a lot of fun. Normally just go have some dinner and some presents and just enjoy the night. And so, but I recommend doing that any and all times that you can, instead of being a slave to a calendar or any particular moment in time that is marked by said calendar. Because you never know. And live life every day. It's sort of like with Christmas presents or presents in general. It's like, do it any time. Just have fun. If you see something that catches your eye and reminds you, if it makes you think about someone, you're like, man, they'd love this. Go ahead and do it. Do it now. Because as they say, tomorrow is not promised. So live every day as if you're last. I enjoy that particular philosophy. And if I get cool stuff from time to time, like back there over my shoulder, you might be able to make out Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik in the retro style little figures there. Because that was like one of the coolest times in wrestling when I was a kid, because they were like great heels, ultimate bad guys, when they still played that straight kind of like cartoon character stereotype things with the performers. Speaking of which, I am looking very forward to like getting busier every day, because like with the Hotel Seville, one of the big things that's happening there outside of just enhancing the music event stuffs is the partnerships that Michael has put together with folks like Camp Jack and Grandma's house, the Ozark Humane Society. All of those things are falling into line, so I'm going to go by and say hi to a lot of folks I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be my day on the streets, where today I'm going to be kind of be riding the phone to schedule stuff, you know. And yeah, it's kind of fun because I get to do, or what I'm going to do in the promotional side of things, is to be able to go shoot this stuff under the umbrella of the Hotel Seville, and just to show the partnerships. It's cool. It's like literally I've got, and it really will be at the end of the day when it's all said, done, and over with, um, broadcast stuff. You know, it's a full broadcast station is the way I'm treating the marketing and promotions of it. So you will start seeing in the very near future more programs, if you will, that I'm going to then put onto the YouTube. I'll tease it out on socials, but I want to draw people over to the YouTube channel and the main website of the hotel, because inside baseball, this is how things work in the world of marketing and promotion these days. And so, yep, I am looking super, super forward to all of this because it looks to be a remarkable amount of fun, because it is. What else have we got here? Yeah, I got notes of people and things that I'm looking forward to reaching out and connecting with and all that. So what else is going on in the world? The alien disclosure thing, though, I find it interesting. And what brought it back into my purview, if you will, one particular YouTuber, Black Scout Survival, I do believe is his channel. Anyway, and he was pointing it out again that they're ramping up the talk again. The Daily Mail's reporting Laura Trump had made reference that Trump has a speech ready to go, and that's his daughter-in-law. So if there's any viable source, you'd think she'd be the one. But she did it. Even she did it with an allegedly. So I don't know. So I guess the biggest thing is like now that, and Alicia had spotted some stories on Fox last night when she was skimming through. And it's like, this is really where we are, that there's no such thing as just the news. It has to be it's just the woo woo, you know, and it's woo woo, it's shock, it's fear, it's anger. And it's like, wow. It's just weird to me because we don't really have a pop culture thing. The political spectrum took over pop culture in 2016, and then it's just all phased out, went downhill from there. And thinking about, I mean, I think the only bone that's been thrown out that I'm kind of like, okay, this is kind of cool, would be um, with Disney making the moves they're making when it comes to Star Wars, giving hope once again with Kathleen Kennedy apparently finally really actually out, and Bob Iger being swapped, all the peoples that were allegedly breaking the franchise, that we might actually get some Star Wars again. But maybe that ship sailed. For me, I mean, I enjoyed The Mandalorian. I loved Rogue One. But everything else has either been boring or just dumb. Like the Book of Boba Fett is probably the worst Star Wars ever, in my opinion. Even more so than the holiday special. At least that fit its time and its terribleness because it was a television special and it had the whole cavalcade of the 70s variety stars at the time, from Harvey Korman, B. Arthur, Art Carney. You know, so that was fun, and that was what it was at the time, as far as like those movie and TV tie-in things that happened. So you know, I can give that a little bit of a pass. Even the Ewok movies that were just made for television, that were creepy looking Ewoks. I think one looked kind of okay because they dialed back the costumes for some reason, but then the other one that had those weird googly eyes. Now, wouldn't that be funny? How come we don't hear anything about that as far as like all of the aliens that are allegedly the extraterrestrials that are out there doing their thing? We don't have anybody reporting any Ewoks. So I'd be good with that. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Yeah, most all of the Star Wars stuff now has just been a major letdown. I did catch the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer that aired during the Super Bowl, but apparently it wasn't really a trailer. It was just a spoof spot for the sake of getting some attention. I thought it was funny. What little I didn't like really watch it. I just caught the glimpses of it, and it was like the it was a spoiler alert, But anyway, but it was the Mandalorian and Grogu in like this dog sled type thing, but it was being drawn by Tauntauns, and that was kind of funny. You know, it was like incredibly dumb, but funny. But then again, it's cool. Yeah, and the Ewok TV movies, I know as a kid, I was just glad to have them. You know, because it was more Star Wars. It felt like Star Wars. It looked like Star Wars. The like I said, I guess it was the second one where they did the weird eyeballs. Yeah, so it was. I think from what they were going for with the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser thingy, I think they were going for a spoof on the old Budweiser spots with the Clydesdales, and so instead of Clydesdales, it was Tauntauns. So, okay, sure, that was fun. But we've all gotten so cynical and jaded over things that even the fun, goofy stuff is kind of like, really, it just gets too cringy right off the bat instead of getting a pass. But as far as like any of the other Super Bowl commercials, I personally haven't went out of my way. I haven't seen people talking about them, so apparently they didn't have the pull of say the Budweiser spots back in the day or the other ones. But then again, I'm just so over. I never was a big NFL guy anyway, but now with the poppycock in which they have put forward, I definitely am not interested. And that's not even political. It's just their own intentions. Guy wanted the black hat. I think it was still him. Anyway, the survival guy. Anyway, but he made a very good point. I mean, it's like there's no one who did not know the climate of the nation to put together the broadcast in which they put together that would just be a decisive thing on the populace inside of what was once the one of those big linchpins of, you know, water cooler, we can all get along over this even if we're arguing about the teams, you know, and just to throw a monkey wrench in that, that's just stupid. Ah, well, see, they needed the Clydesdales back for Budweiser because that was a very cool, iconic thing. But I'd like to see the frogs come back. Oh God, I just had an Alex Jones thing pop in my head. Oh, they're turning the friggin' frogs gay. Can you imagine that with Budweiser commercials now? If they brought the frogs back, that's kind of funny. But not the "What's Up" thing. Remember the "What's Up"? That was one of the most annoying campaigns, I think. But hey, it stuck. I still mentioned it all these decades later. But man alive, yeah, the Budweiser frogs of the 21st century. Wonder how that would play out. But turning the friggin' frogs gay. Which is funny. I've got a 3D print. Somebody had like made up like a panel that you could like put on your desk or on your wall, something that like you flip the switch to like turn the frogs gay or whatever. It's kind of funny. Yep. So I don't know. Just funny stuff, man. I don't know. It's 13 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour. It's nice outside. Going to be another beautiful spring day. I think it's supposed to dump back out like down to the highs of the 50s tomorrow. So it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to a great night. We're going to go up to Branson actually for dinner tonight. And I think that's the last word I heard. I'm actually looking forward to it. So that's cool. It's the Panda House Chinese buffet up there. Really good. Very, very clean place, and the food tastes very clean too. So if you get a hankering for Chinese, I'd recommend checking that one out because it hasn't let us down, and I don't think it will. So that's what I'm leaning into. Yeah, the Taco Bell Chihuahua, that was fantastic campaign, but I don't know if you could do that nowadays. It was like what yesterday. Just kind of had YouTube on in the living room, and whatever I was watching ended, so just started doing the suggested thing, the next in line, and then eventually that wound up rolling over into Blazing Saddles, and I don't believe it'd be possible to make that movie now. I was actually surprised to see that it was on YouTube, like the free movies on YouTube, and it was unedited. And so I was very surprised. So maybe things have kind of turned around that they didn't feel the need to go in and like take out some of the wordage because it was actually kind of important to the message and theme of the movie. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like having to turn the air conditioner on. We actually just cracked the windows open here, and I made sure that the heat was down because Alicia, I'm not saying she's cold-blooded, but she gets cold. So, as such, she'll keep it a little more toasty than Caitlin and I prefer. Yep. But it was a good day yesterday. Like I say, started the day doing the show with Michael over at KHOZ. And I love seeing everybody over there. I really do. Don't think I would ever want to go back into a work environment such as that. But man, the memories. Because again, that's where Alicia and I really, really met. We had met before kind of in passing, but we really, really met there when I was news director. and she was the receptionist. And like I said, we had mutual friends prior, so it was pretty cool. Now the Chinese restaurant I'm referring to up in Branson is not Panda House, the one over on Bee Creek, not that one where the KFC is, not that one. That one sucks. But it's over. It's like if you're going down 248, and then before you turn up to like the Red Route, Shepherd of the Hills. It's on the right hand side of the road there, but right before the light. I think it's called Panda House 2 or something like that. So they didn't get very creative in the names. I think the corporate one is Panda, and then the one that I'm talking about is Panda House. And again, it's just right there whenever you're cutting over from 248 to go up to Shepherd of the Hills. There it's like, yeah. So, but it's a good place. It really is. It's like we've been very impressed with it every time we went, and so hopefully, I'm feeling confident it will stay that way because they're nice people, and like I say, the place is clean and the food is clean. You know, it's like it looks clean, it tastes clean, it's just good. So I don't know, I like it. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning working on everything between birthday stuff and stuff for the hotel, and really happy with how everything's coming around. Michael seems to be happy with the stuff I'm starting to put together in the rebranding campaign to get the word out about the place. And I can say this now. Actually, on the 21st, if you're a country music fan, at Camp Jack, country music singer Jamie O'Neill, her biggest hit that I am aware of, because I was kind of out of the circuit at that time, but it was back 2000, 2001, was There Is No Arizona. That was her big one. So she's going to be playing there at Creekside. There are 2 tiers of tickets for the event. I cannot explain. I don't quite know what the tiers represent, but there are going to be $50 tickets and $25 tickets. And so as I learn more, everybody else will learn more too. But Jamie O'Neill, the Australian-born singer, country music singer, will be here in Harrison. It was going to be Pam Tillis, but Pam got ill, so things have been yeah, I do miss Dragon King, truly. And good morning to Lurker. We have a Lurker. Lurker, say hi. Don't be shy. But yeah, so that's coming up on the 21st. The 20th and 21st, she'll be here in town. And again, Michael and I, we talked about it kind of quick last night, but there are acts coming up all year long. And so there'll be some will just be nice, intimate acoustic sets in the ballroom there at the Seville. And some of the other ones will be bigger over at Camp Jack at the new facilities, which I'm hoping, again, if everything goes well, I'm going to go by tomorrow, kind of take a tour of the place and see what all's happened since the remodel. And also with that is with Mid-States Wrestling, they're going to be doing a fundraiser show for Camp Jack on the 7th. That's going to be fun because it's been forever since I've been to a Mid-State show. I used to shoot all the house shows for JJ for years and years and years and years. But then thankfully he found somebody who's really, really good, and they're doing some really great productions now and putting together the show for like the video parts and everything. It looks fantastic. And so I'm going to fill in for one of those guys that night, just doing some floor cam stuff. And that's fun because being able to just kind of run up at everybody's face to get the reactions, and that's a fun part. It really is. I enjoy that the most. And back in the day when I was doing it, I had a steady camera, a steady shot for the wide on the ring, and then I would run around to get those other shots, and then I'd cut it all up at the end. And it was funny because that was back in the days when the camera was heavy and big, and I wasn't in any better shape by the end of it all either, you know. So there you go. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my goodness. Well, that's something to think about. Going back into the thought about the big extraterrestrial alien disclosure thought. I think we're due. Honestly, all things considered, what's come about in the 21st century that we've all experienced from starting off with the dangling chads of the Bush-Gore election that shook everything up that particular year and that particular election cycle, to then going into 9/11 when that happened, and then what else happened? Then the next big thing, I guess, was in '08 with the big housing collapse and that recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. And then let's see what we do then. Then, of course, all the usual stuff, the wars, the blowing up things. Then along comes Trump, and that kind of shook the Raptors for a good while, and then that stopped, and along comes I'll mention that here in a second too. But then along comes Biden for 4 years of what? Remember that? Remember the show Taxi? Biden, in a lot of ways, reminds me of Jim on Taxi. Remember the one episode where he's like studying for his driving test and everything? And very good morning to you, Gar the Ghoul. But yeah, so he was when Jim was studying for the driving test, and he asked the questions, "What does yellow mean?" And one of the guys said, "Slow down." He said, "What does yellow mean?" You know, that was comedic gold, but that was also Joe Biden. That's about the nicest thing I could say in that regard. But anyway, what's funny about that is when I had the computer do the thing and like working out some lyrics and everything, and I said, okay, one of the things I want to touch on is how all the presidents throughout, from Eisenhower up, have something tied to them when it comes to the extraterrestrials and all that. And it went through everybody, didn't mention Biden. Didn't do it. And I'm like, wow, that was interesting. But then again, what does yellow mean? You know, crazy. Um, oh yeah, see, I've just now recently gotten introduced to like Indian food when I was down in Little Rock a lot with my aunt and last year, and so and it was all right. But I still have to try Thai food. I haven't done that yet, and Vietnamese. I don't think I've had that either. Japanese, Chinese, yep, done that. So yeah, Reverend Jim on Taxi was fantastic. That was such a funny thing. Christopher Lloyd deserved the pop that he got that led him to all the other great roles that he performed. But yeah, the Reverend Jim thing, man. What does yellow mean? Worked with a fella in Oklahoma, the general manager at the radio station, Bobby Roasty. That was like the funniest thing in the world to him forever. It's like, it was just, you see a guy just fall out laughing and crying every time he just thought about that scene. And it was a funny scene. But there we go. Yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way for the Indian food. I mean, I wouldn't. But it was all right because I said I'd never tried it. But I wouldn't go out of my way for it. So, yeah. But Caitlin liked it. And it was kind of nice to see her try new things. Gar, how are you this morning? You're kind of quiet. So quiet. We're talking about alien disclosure this morning, amongst the other hamster wheel, squirrel distractions I get into. But speaking of which, let's get... Well, I don't have it framed right. You can't see... Because I want to see a Marvin. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Marvin the Martian pop down, real life scale here, walking around just ready to take over the Earth. That would be awesome. Wouldn't that be funny if actual alien disclosure, and we, instead of like the grays or the tall white one peoples or any of the reptilians or anything, and it was just little Marvin the Martians that are actually the invading force. Lord, that would just be awesome. Yep. Oh my goodness. I would truly enjoy that. But I don't know. Like I say, it's been, I'm really enjoying this new chapter that's opened up and having some fun with. And I'm telling you, Damien, if you get a chance, you got to come by the Seville because, again, the food is really good. Steak night, I was blown away. I tried it out, I guess, last Friday. Just a couple bites, and it was fantastic. And it really is hard to find a place to get a good steak around these parts. And this was really good. The specialty chef, forgive me for not remembering his name right now. I'm in the process of learning everybody, and I'm terrible with names anyway, but I'm going to get better at it, promise. But yeah, it was fantastic, and again, the atmosphere and the employees, man, everybody who works on all sides of the hotel, either on the hotel side or in the restaurant side, fantastic crew. You couldn't, I mean, everybody's got tenure there, and that's something that is so rare these days. Fantastic. But yeah, the Illudium Q explosive. Yes, the Illudium Q. Yes, I couldn't think of that damn name or that word for the life of me the other day. Well, wasn't it 2 letters? The Illudium Q. I thought it was something else. Because it just needed one more syllable to really deliver the line. I can't remember for sure. It's been a minute, but I don't know. Well, that's another funny thing that kind of jumped out at me last night. Anyway, usual, have to go to Walmart, pick up some dog food, cat food stuff, right? And I like to cruise through like the DVDs and the collectible stuff section. And I noticed that they had a set of Looney Tunes DVDs, the Platinum Editions. There were like 3 of them in a box for like 19.95. And I'm thinking, well, that's a pretty good price. And I looked up, and Robot Chicken, if you remember Robot Chicken with the animated Mego style, well, actually, really, the animated Mego crude humor stuff. So the Looney Tunes, like a 3-disc set, was 19.95, and the Robot Chicken was like either 60 or $100, something like. It was like just crazy to me. But I don't know. That just kind of struck me odd. You know, you've got the genuine bona fide classics of animation that shaped generations of kids, such as you and I's, to then Robot Chicken, which I enjoyed when it first came about because, you know, I'm a Mego head, so that worked out. But then it just got just too crude, and now I can't. It's just I can't go back and watch. You know, it's just like it didn't age well with my sense of humor, taste, and temperament. It's just dumb. You know, it's just not that fun. Good stuff. Oh, sneeze wanting to come in, but that's okay. 26 into the 8 o'clock hour. Lots of fun stuff on this list. A lot of stuff being done, with even more a coming. So I'm looking forward to it. I get to create now. And it's weird because I'm still like in this transitional thing in my head to where I don't have to do everything. Just create. Put together the stuff that'll get people's attention to where they want to come over and play over at the Seville. That's amazing, man. To actually have a staff doing all the other jobs that they do is amazing, and they all do it well. Gosh, I honestly couldn't ask for anything better. And don't think I will. I think I'll just let it ride as it is. It's fun. So, what else is happening? Really nothing. The Olympics are going on. People are still talking about the foosball game and the halftime shows of said foosball game. Wars all over the place still happening. And you know, that's one thing though. It's like, you know, thinking about this alien disclosure thing, since, you know, you've got the whole thing with the e-files going on out there. And that's like, okay, yeah, at least they're talking about the aliens as the distraction thing from the e-files versus just opening fire on another country just to cause a distraction. Like if you remember back in the 90s during the Clinton years, every time something a little salacious would come up about old Slick Willie, well, looks like Iraq done did something. We're going to bomb the hell out of Saddam again and again and again. It's like every time like clockwork. So, yeah, you know, and the thing is like when it comes to China, talking about that, as Gar is bringing up in the comments there, I'll never, like I say, one of those moments in time that stay with me forever, ever, was as a kid, 5th grade, however old I was then. But I remember asking and posing the question, because again, this is still at the height of the Cold War, or towards the end of the Cold War, I should say. And so we were all still embedded with the whole kill a commie for mommy thing, red, you know, better dead than red, and all that, against the Soviet Union and the terrible threat that they imposed upon the world because they were communists. And then I asked the question in the most innocent manner possible, saying, well, help me understand, please. If the Russian communists are bad, what about the Chinese communists? And I swear to you, it's like it stuck with me so hard because the teacher just kind of got this deadpan look on her face and pretty much gave me the sit down and shut up, kid response, because it didn't make sense to me. It's like, if communism's bad, so the Soviets and Russia, that's got to be bad. So, but what about China, who is very much communism too? Why was one better than the other? I didn't understand that. Even to this day, it's like if our mission diplomatically was always to crush communism before it could spread across the planet, but China is communist and they manufacture everything for the planet, something just doesn't make a whole lot of sense right there. Call me crazy. Is it though? Is communism in China different than Russian communism? Communism is communism, right? But they appear to be doing it better than Russia did because they're making, well, I guess they're like a better hybrid of capitalism and communism. Maybe, because at least they've got industry and everything. See, I don't know. Me personally, I think communism as a whole, in certain aspects, sounds like an okay idea. We're looking out for one another. That's like a balanced society. But the problem is who's driving the train? That's the biggest problem when it comes to any of those isms out there. It's whoever we allow to drive the train. And the main thing is like, okay, somebody has to drive the train because it's a big train, but all of us on the carts, we need to be a little bit cooler. What's wrong, Simon? Yeah, joining me over here this morning. Well, you can kind of see his head a little bit. There's Simon. He's our beautiful boy. He really is. He's old. He's older now, so he's a little bit more grumpy old man type stuff. But we've had him forever, and he's sweet and he's beautiful, and he likes to hang. So, what? I did not mean to disturb you, Sir Simon. I don't know if you could hear that, but he said things. So anyway, I'll be right back, guys. Here, take a listen to this one was fun because I wanted that whole 50s novelty B-movie drive-in type thing, talking about the alien disclosure stuff. I was going to kick it on for a minute. I'll be right back.
Step right up to the drive-in of doom, where the truth goes vroom and the saucers go zoom.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
They said swamp gas, Venus, kites aflare, while something did a figure eight above the county fair. First nope, then you're nuts, then move along, my guy. Now here's the footage, and it's flying by.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
Eisenhower met him. That's the story we've been fed. JFK asked questions, then the file droid it dead. Nixon waved, Ford looked, Carter saw glow. Reagan said Star Wars, and the rumors started to grow.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got alien, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole barn clock.
You get the jolt only one, and my buddy, they forgot.
Bush 1 knew a friend.
Wait.
Clinton played the sax. Bush 2 dodged so hard he pulled a hamstring in the fax. Obama laughed, then half said, yeah, it's kinda weird. Trump said, tremendous saucers, believe me, very feared.
Direct the time in one.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got aliens, while aliens go young.
Soldier at the time in one.
That's the whole but time. Be taken pheromone and dine on the budded base of night.
Raised, tall gray, Nordic tall whites, reptilians, mantis, men in black at night, Pleiadians, Arcturians.
So yeah, that was fun. And again, it's like the AI music. I don't it's funny. It's filler the way I see it. And could you go further with it? And which people have now, and it's like charting in places. I think the jury's going to be out of that for a long time because again, depending on your perspective on the AI generated music stuffs, there's still a human behind it. So there is a level of creation going on there of some sort. And people are expressing themselves, but there is still a music industry that needs to make money. And as they make money, if this will make them money, they're going to do it. Me personally, I just find it funny to be able to slap something together just for the sake of a throwaway thing to sit and establish the theme of a show. And I don't have to deal with any kind of copyright or any of those type of things. So that's kind of a win. But nothing will ever replace live music performed by real live human beings. Period. In a statement. That's why, and it's like I've always had like the pop acts that they've got so much like synthesizer and things like that going on. To see one of their shows, if you will, never made a lot of sense to me because it's like, unless I see folks standing there with a guitar and a bass and drums and real instrument stuff, it doesn't seem like a concert to me. It's, I guess, a dance show or a dance recital type thing, maybe. But so I don't think musicians are ever going to truly, scratch that, Jim. I think studio musicians are going to have issues because, again, when it comes to just being able to lay down tracks for the stuff that actually the common music consumer doesn't care about, as far as like soundtrack stuff, film music, things like that, that'll be a little problematic. But as far as like the music that'll touch you and that you can go see people standing on the stage, knocking it out of the park, really doing, I don't think it'll be interesting to see. But then again, the same argument can be made if you have if a live band versus a disc jockey versus a karaoke setup, right? It's always going to have some type of conflict in there between what defines music. Well, I think for different purposes, there are different things. Like karaoke, I think is, in the early days of it, when it came on the scene in the 90s, it was kind of a funny, laughable thing because it was at the bars and you got a little liquored up, you go for it. But now I think it's fantastic because it gives people the opportunity to sing, and it's no different than like up in Branson. You got a lot of performers who just sing the tracks. It's the same damn thing, except they don't have the lyrics in front of them on the screen. The way I see it, I've always seen it that way. Yeah, and if it gives people the opportunity to have a good time, I don't think there'll be a problem. Oh my goodness, boy, you guys are just having fun, and I appreciate that. Get involved in this conversation, shall I? So yeah, hopefully though, like I say, this Saturday night, hopefully I can have some horrible horror time. I know I'm probably going to run out to the Seville and do some other stuffs out there, picking up some more pieces of video and everything. That's kind of my thoughts, takes, and all that. But we'll just see how it goes. Because again, life got busy again, but in a good personal way. Yep. Yeah, but here's the thing, Gar. It may have taken you 2 months where it would have taken a week before. The main thing is you still got it done, and that is admirable more than anything else. 37 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour. My goodness. And it is warm out there. I don't even know. 65 right now. 65, partly sunny this time of the morning. So I think the only thing I've heard weather-wise that might be a thing for us is we might see some thunder movers possibly pop up whenever that cold front comes in. Don't know though. We'll just play it by ear. That's how we do. Anyway. Well, gentlemen, this has been fun. I got to get back to pushing buttons and making noise over here that just really does sound like crap whenever I'm talking to you and everything. Anywho, but we'll wrap up and we'll do it again tomorrow morning. Have coffee, catch up on things. Maybe today will be the day that we can get some alien disclosure. And what would that actually look like on the populace if they actually said, okay, yeah, fine, curtains dropped. Yeah, the aliens have been here forever. They're your reptilian overlords. They're all of our reptilian overlords. And it's all been a game. But now they want to expose themselves because I don't know why they would now versus any other time. I don't know. But I wonder what that would look like in society. All things considered and what we went through in the past 26 years of the 21st century, I don't know. But if it happens, or is it ever to happen, I'd be curious and want to stick around for the show. Really and truly. Just because you talk about making everything totally different. But I think that will be the way to actually introduce a completely globalized society, planet-wide, and introduce a technocracy. There's something to look forward to. I don't know. Anything is possible. But, yep. Well, now here's the thing, though. Now, with that thought, now I'll hop back in on the conversation. If aliens are real, we'll be insects in comparison because space flight tech. However, now I think that's part of a narrative that's been framed. Because what if that when it comes to the framing that we've been given, that we've accepted that if they're aliens and extraterrestrials, that they must be more advanced than we are because they made it across the galaxy, across the universe, and so on. But what if it's an interdimensional thing? And as such, there's not really hard science tech involved, mechanical tech, but more consciousness shifting dimensional travel. So I'm still of the mind that most everything that people see in the sky, I'm pretty much sold on this now. Everything that's being seen, videoed, or whatever over the decades. I'm not talking about just modern day where things can be easily edited or AI'd up or whatever. I really think it's military because I'm very hard pressed to believe that all of the military industrial complexes around the world just hit the pause button on how they operate and use things to blow things up. I very hard pressed to believe that they don't have technology that would, again, to you and I, the common folk on the street, when we saw it for the first time, it would freak us right out because it goes way beyond our wheel well. And I think the narrative that the extraterrestrials would be far more advanced than us feeds into something that limits human beings, um, or makes us down talk it. Because quite frankly, human beings are the ones, to the best of all of our knowledge, on a daily basis, are doing the new things creatively to create the new things that evolve. Now, that does come from the imagination, which we don't truly understand. But when you look at like the mind of Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek and everything that was on that show that is now reality, or at least in the early stages of becoming completely accepted. I mean, think about the phones. They hell, this wireless microphone, for God's sake. This communication device where we're talking across screens. And of course, that was, and then the watches that do the same thing. So it's like Dick Tracy had a handle on this way back when. And that all came because someone had it in their mind, in their imagination, that wouldn't it be cool if you could do this? And then someone said, yeah, that would be. How do we do it? I don't know. Let's figure it out. And then we did. So I won't discount the ability of the human with a spark inside of them to make things happen. So yeah, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Um, it's a very interesting thing because I know there's just more to the story, the narratives that anything that frames the human being as lesser than anything else, I firmly believe is bad, is just propaganda. I really, 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 really believe that because once you can convince a human they can't do something, they'll believe it. On the whole, unfortunately, like when you look at the public, here's the thing: look at public educated kids, the public education system educated kids, and the homeschool kids. Now, I could speak to this because I have a homeschooled child, and with Caitlin, her knowledge base and skill sets thump other kids her age because she's had the opportunity to take care of the basics of things all along the way, every step of the way, reading, writing, arithmetic, all that stuff. She's done it all on the way, learned as she needed, and she knows all that stuff well. Particulars as far as grammar, structure, and all this stuff, that shit's irrelevant. It was irrelevant for me and you, and it's irrelevant for kids today. To understand it and have a basic knowledge of it, absolutely. But where we are with the way in which we can learn things and we need to do things, we can still learn that very, very super quickly now. But then to waste their lives for 12 years in remedial training of the same things is absurd to me. And but along the way, as she got the inkling to really draw more and really practice her art, and then she kind of studies some artists now, getting a little bit deeper in technique and style. And then when it comes to music or when it comes to sewing, taxidermy, all this stuff, she's had the opportunity to dive in and explore and put that energy and attention into those things versus another school year of remedial nonsense that will do her no favors. And extracurricular activities that I mean, everybody who enjoys it, do it, have fun with it, but understand that there can be consequences, especially like in athletics, to where the kids who take the fields and the courts, they're really they're wearing out their bodies early, man. And I've seen plenty who have done that. I mean, you got a 17-year-old kid who winds up blowing out his knees because he was chasing the dream of college ball to pro ball. And I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying be mindful. A lot of folks just aren't very mindful of that. And then you find a kid who just gets chewed up and spit out by a system. Or what was even worse, back with the opioid epidemic, whenever the kids would get hurt on the field, and then the doctors would start just throwing them the opioids to get them through the next game. And that's real because there was a particular member of Alicia's family, that kid, man, that shit broke him. And it's terrible. It really is. And so that's why I can't be just a yo team, go team type of guy because there's for every Joe Montana, there's a Joe Schmo that wound up going to the Boone County Court on a Friday for another arraignment for another drug charge because they got hooked on the stuff in high school because they got hurt on a particular field or court. So that's just me. Oh my. And there could be some bad genetics involved too, sure. But at the same time, whenever you're putting that much strain and pressure, and having seen the inside workings a lot of the high school athletic programs and some of the college programs, it's just it's ridiculous how serious they take that. I've seen coaches yelling and screaming at kids and pushing them harder than they ever need to be pushed. Like, I mean, yeah. I'm not saying you baby them or anything like that, but there comes a level that it's just too much. It's like it's just ridiculous. Um, it just is. Period. Anyway, but I'm gonna scoot, guys. Hey, I like stirring the pot for a second there. That was fun. Hopefully the aliens will come and straighten me out. They'll probe me right out of being a nuisance. Maybe. But we'll see. Anyway, 14 away from the 9 o'clock hour. So gosh, we got things to do today. Let's get up. Let's get moving. Let's go do stuff. Speed and weed. That was a better way to go. I agree. But anyway, we're going to move along into the day with all the things that need to be done. And Sir Simon over here, he's back to sleep and he's happy. So, which you can just see right there. The top of his head. You want to say hi? There he is. That's the pretty one. Who's pissed that I did that. Anyway, gentlemen, see you in the morning for coffee, and we'll do it again. We'll rock it out once again with a potential alien disclosure. And if it does come to pass, I'm going to suggest this to the Smithsonian for my incredible prediction. I don't know. What the hell? Anyway, see you tomorrow.
Step right up to the drive-in of doom, where the truth goes vroom and the saucers go zoom.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
They said swamp gas, Venus, kites aflare, while something did a figure eight above the county fair. First nope, then you're nuts, then move along, my guy. Now here's the footage, and it's flying by.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
Eisenhower met him. That's the story we've been fed. JFK asked questions, then the file drawer ate it dead. Nixon waved, Ford looked, Carter saw a glow. Reagan said Star Wars, and the rumors started to grow.
Disclosure at the time-in.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the time-in.
That's the whole bond clock.
You get the joy only one, and my buddy, they forgot.
Bush 1 knew a friend. Clinton played the sax. Bush 2 dodged so hard he pulled a hamstring in the fax. Obama laughed, then half said, yeah, it's kinda weird. Trump said, tremendous saucers, believe me, very feared.
At the time-in.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the time-in.
That's the whole but time. Be taken pheromone and dying on the budded case of night.
Raised all gray, Nordics all whites, reptilians, mantis, men in black at night, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians too, Anunnaki, Dracos, how do you do? Orb shadow people, glow and slide. If it floats and blinks, it's disclosure night.
Pentagon's polite like a diner after 2. Yeah, anomalous objects, but we don't know who. They stamp it unknown with an official sigh, while a saucer does donuts in the open sky.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in.
That's the whole darn plot. We can't confirm or deny.
But buddy, they forgot.
Remember, kids, they call it unidentified. That just means it identified you first.
Step right up
to the drive-in of doom, where the truth goes vroom and the saucers go zoom.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
They said swamp gas, Venus, kites aflare, while something did a figure eight above the county fair. First nope, then you're nuts, then move along my guy. Now it's here's the footage and it's flying by.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
Look up, here they come. They say not aliens, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole darn plot.
We can't confirm or deny, but buddy, they forgot.
Eisenhower met him. That's the story we've been fed. JFK asked questions, then the file droided dead. Nixon waved forward, looked, Carter saw a glow. Reagan said Star Wars, and the rumors started to grow.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
But they'll clean the come. This ain't got alien, while aliens go young.
Disclosure at the drive-in one.
That's the whole barn clock.
You get the journal, only one. And my buddy, they forgot.